Ah, shit. This episode of the BRG Podcast has been brought to you by our patrons. Here at BRG, we'd like to thank those patrons who have subscribed and donated. It is because of generosity like yours that makes this show possible.
In this episode of the podcast, Ziploc Bob is excited about Marketing Wank. Kirok is excited about a new Wii U title. I'm excited about MP3 being dead. And Cosmic is excited about nothing. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the BRG Podcast. I am your host, Warp Jester. Along with me tonight, of course, is Kirok.
Hello, everyone.
And tonight we have a special guest, Cosmic.
Hello.
Cosmic, you will have heard several times of my Let's Play videos for playing World of Warships. He oftentimes joins me there in the audio format. Now you can see his wonderful half-face graciousness. That's why I kind of shoved over to the side here, because trying to make room for him. We certainly do welcome you back, as always. We are a gaming podcast. We tend to cover gaming news and headlines. 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 Hi. And news topic or gaming topics that we find relevant or interesting. Of course, we do hope that you do too. Kirok, my friend.
Yeah.
It's been a fun week, I'm sure.
Yes, it has.
Going on? Or it has gone on?
Actually, I was going to mention that tonight was game night for Project Singularity.
Okay, well, you're not there, so look at everybody else get together.
A few people did get together. I got home late from work, and now we're doing this. So,
shock of shocks.
Yeah, and I'm still getting ready to start putting new content on my channel. That'll happen probably in the next week. Just like I said last week, and just like I said the last week before, it's happening. Trust me, it's happening. Yeah,
it's a labor of love.
You're editing it, right?
Yeah. The idea is fleshed out. Anyways, guys, we do have some good headlines. I think they're really fascinating this week. We want to get to those. We also got a great rant from Ziploc Bob this week. We're going to be showing you, so you'll love that. And then we're going to be talking about tactic games. And this can be everything from first-person shooters to Heroes of the Storm. The style escapes me. But anything that involves like team play. So we're going to talk about the aspect of team play and what it means and what you should do. So we'll get into that. So to that end, I think we should go ahead and get into it.
MOBA?
That's it. Alright guys, we're going to get into the Speedy Bites. At the top of our list tonight, we've got Square Enix withdraws from IO Interactive. So Square Enix is actually withdrawing from the Hitman developer the Hitman Studio IO Interactive, and has begun negotiations for potential investors to help keep the studio afloat. This is a decision that was made as a resulted in booking of extraordinary loss amounting to $4,898 million. They're having problems.
Wow. A new patch is out for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Switch. The patch adds a bunch of new features, but I think most notably the Twitter users made a comment about how the animated girl, what's her name, Inkling Girl from the Splatoon series, who you can race in this game, they removed the Arm of Honor, or the... Can I make the gesture? Can I?
Yeah.
That's
the Arm of Honor.
Of honor, yes. It's the Arm of Honor, which basically means up yours. So she would pass by you as a player, and she would turn around and do that to you. Now she just does a fist pump, and that's it.
Oh, come on.
I know. They must have got some kind of feedback, so yeah.
And the Tech Lab's reporting that Legend of Zelda is coming to a phone near you. That's right. You heard it here first, and I was the one that found it, not Kirok. So according to Wall Street Journal, Nintendo is planning on bringing a well-known franchise, Legend of Zelda, to smartphones. According to sources, the game is going to be developed by DNA. The studio is also the proprietors of Super Mario and Fire Emblem Heroes, which I play, as well as the Miatomo, the other thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, look for that. That's gonna be exciting.
You're not a real Zelda fan if you didn't know that.
I didn't know that. So Polygon reports that because amiibos are so scarce, so hard to find, fans are starting to make and sell their own. If you look online, there's actually a growing community of people who are making card amiibos where they actually get the information, put it onto a chip that gets put into or embedded into a card.
It's just NFC, right?
NFC, you got it. So they're just reproducing NFC signals
and you can
or
buy
information.
those in bulk.
Yeah, and you can buy them like online, and then, well, I think Nintendo's getting pretty pissed about this because
they realized they cut out the ability to make a lot of money. Their loss.
Exactly.
Sorry.
Yeah. So yep,
Oh, well.
that's what's going on with amiibos. I don't really care. I could care less about amiibos.
Hey, American gamers, comes to find out, this 47% prefer consoles versus 27% prefers PCs. This is actually a really good article or census data was released by Nielsen. It talks about U.S. gaming. This is just U.S. gaming, so and to be very fair, I don't know if they have any other data, but nevertheless. So just a quick stats here for U.S. gaming: 47% of people play console, 26% play mobile, and 27% play PC. So PC and mobile are right in town with each other. Additionally, another neat kind of fun fact is that 46% play on one platform only. So they're solely just playing PlayStation or just playing PC.
Or Xbox.
38% play two different platforms, and then 16% play on all three platforms.
I'm one of the 16%.
Yeah, he actually plays on all
here.
three platforms. I only play on mobile and PC.
Ah, wow. Player Unknown Battleground. This we actually reported on. The company Bluehole was holding a charity because of the popularity of the game, and they had pledged to raise or to donate $100,000, matching that of whatever the community generates. They did tournaments. Some of the top winners managed to walk away with prizes such as GTX 1080s, and the community raised more than $120,000. So Bluehole's extra $100,000 brought them over $225,000 in total. And all the charity went to Gamers Outreach, an organization that helps kids who are in hospitals for treatments, cope with whatever.
That's awesome.
Things are.
I would love
cool.
to in the future reach out to some of these nonprofit groups for use gaming to fund nonprofits and do some interviews with them, because I think that'd be a great thing to bring to the podcast. Cool. Big news. Well, I think it is, even though I don't play the series. Far Cry 5 has been announced along with some other things.
Cool.
So that's going to be coming down the pipe here. Ubisoft did announce Far Cry 5 is in development, is scheduled to be released sometime before April of 2018. So keep an eye out for that. That's one of the 4 games they've announced for the fiscal year of 17 to 18. That's along with a few other, I forget the name of the other ones I had written down, but I decided to nix it. An interesting addition to that little nod is that Destiny 2 will not be coming to Steam. As a matter of fact, Destiny 2 will actually be being released on Blizzard's streaming or download service, which is it was Battle.net, but now they've dropped that branding to it's just the Blizzard app thing. So this is pretty interesting for no other reason than usually you'll ever see Blizzard's products coming from there. Now they're going to have a Bungie product coming out of Blizzard.net. Does this signal Activision Blizzard getting into competition with Steam and the like? They've got the money for it, unlike other groups. We'll have to wait and see.
Right.
Destiny 1 was a great first-person shooter.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. I never played it either. Never got into it. So Upload VR reports HTC is releasing a standalone Google Daydream VR. Actually, this was from the Google I.O. presentation that just happened.
Yeah, I watched that.
Yeah. I never got a chance to see any of it, but this is pretty cool news from it. Clay Bavor, the VP of VR, indicated that they're going to be partnering with a few different OEM companies, HTC being one of them, and the goal is to release a standalone VR headset. In other words, this headset would be a computerless, phoneless headset that can do virtual reality, and it has what do they call it? Inside-out positional tracking, or what they've coined as world sense. So you don't need any kind of trackers in the room or anything like that. You just throw this thing on, nice and light, and you have a VR experience. It sounds cool.
It looks really interesting. I'll be curious to see what comes of it. It's just strange that HTC is doing this since they have the Vive, but I don't know.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Other interesting news is that Facebook will be live streaming thousands of hours of video esports tournaments, and this is, I'm sure that there's a good chance that Nacho's probably gonna pick this up next week when he does a segment. But just give you a couple of highlights here. Facebook wants its millions of users to watch high stakes world competition video games. As part of this deal, Facebook will be streaming upcoming ESL contests, in which players will be battling each other in first-person military shooters such as Counter-Strike Global Offense. This is Facebook diving into kind of a new market in that sense. So, we'll see what happens with this.
So now a little more into the tech news. This I found pretty interesting and something worth mentioning. The MP3 audio format is officially dead. Long live the AAC. So, this is reported by Engadget. Basically, the MP3 format of music revolutionized how we consume music and steal it. Well, I mean, consume music.
It's an interesting thing. People are kind of like, why do I care? MP3 was critical in back when it was created, but it was a very, very lossy codec, meaning they did everything they could to make the files as small as possible. Back in the days when transferring data back and forth or even streaming it over digital services was difficult. So there you go.
And the idea was to keep it as compressed as possible, but not lose as much quality, but it would still lose quality. Therefore, they could store it on smaller storage spaces back then. But the institute responsible... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just going to say, it's important, but...
Yeah. The institute responsible, what is it called? Fraunhofer Institute of Integrated Circuits. They created this format, the MP3 format. They basically terminated licensing for MP3 related patents, and they're saying that
people at the AAC. So
so it doesn't matter. Yeah. So they're saying that the AAC, or also known as advanced audio coding, is a more flexible type format that can be used for streaming TV episodes and stuff.
Era.
That's all radio broadcasts and quality of
an old format's dead, and modern formats now
and it's taken over.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, that's going to wrap up our speed bites because we got a good main topic tonight. I want to make sure we get to that.
Okay, guys.
It's Kirak here once again with your game releases for the week. Let's do this. On May 23rd, we have Samurai Warriors Spirit of Sanada. That's right, Sanada, not Canada. Game's coming out for PC and PS4. It is an action RPG hack and slash type game. It is actually a spin-off from the original Samurai Warriors. The game, this iteration focuses on a specific clan called the Sanada, and the game has a fighting style very similar to the original Samurai Warrior 4. The graphics look clean, and it reminds me a little bit of Jade Empire with a little bit more freedom in the game. Also on May 23rd, we have Utawarerumono Mask of Deception. This is a PS4 and Vita game, adult tactical visual novel. So it is a tactical game at heart. Strategic, grid-based system, but it's one with a mature rating. So can you believe it? Partial nudity, sexual themes, blood, and strong language. My kind of game. Bring it out to the Switch and I'm there. Also May 23rd, Impact Winter. This is coming out for PC through Steam. It is a survival, story-driven type game. It actually takes place about 8 years after an asteroid impact, putting the world into a new ice age. The game is amazing. It makes you, it does a good job making you feel like you're all alone, and you can do all kinds of things in this game, like take shelters from intense storms, hunt wildlife, investigate mysterious signals, and even like build up your camp. It's great. It looks good. Also on May 23rd, Mirage Arcane Warfare. This is coming out for PC, and it is made by the same guys that made Chivalry. The game looks like a super high-polished first-person mage warfare. You kill with melee weapons and magic. It's pretty awesome. The game boasts its dynamic gore system where you can chop off limbs, blood gushes everywhere, heads get dismembered. It's awesome. That's all I got to say. Still on May 23rd, Steel Division Normandy 44. This is coming out for PC. It is a real-time strategy tactical game. So for those of you who like RTSs, like back in the day with Red Alert, Command and Conquer, this is the game for you. It's based on World War II, obviously, and you can accurately control troops and tanks and vehicles. Actually, I should have said historically accurate vehicles and troops and tanks. You get to reenact like 3 main campaigns, which are accurate to scenarios that happened in World War II. So it looks amazing. This is more or less up my alley. And the last one for May 23rd is Darksiders War Mastered Edition. This game is already out on PS4 and Xbox One, but it's coming out for the Wii U. Wait, what? The Wii U? No, forget this one. Go next. On to a new date. For May 25th, we have Disgaea 5 Complete. This is coming out on the Switch. It is a strategy RPG tactical type game. It's a series that's been around for a while and been re-released on many devices. I've actually played it on the PS Vita. Loved and adored the gameplay, but just couldn't get into the storyline. But if you like tactical type games, check it out. It's pretty cool. On May 26th, we have the game Get Even. This is coming out for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. It is an FPP, otherwise known as a first-person perspective thriller. Yeah, thriller. It's thriller, and it's dark and twisted with some FPS elements. It looks highly polished. It actually reminds me a lot of BioShock at the grade or the level it was at back then. This game has got a dark atmosphere, and it's kind of twisted. If you're a scaredy cat, you might want to not check it out. Also, May 26th, we have Friday the 13th, the game. That's right, guys. If you loved going to those horror flicks when you shake in your seat, this is the game for you, man. This is going to be over-the-top, gory, bloody murdering. You can play, or actually, you play as a teenage counselor in a camp, and you have to try and survive. You can also play as Jason with the machete-swinging hockey mask guy. It's pretty awesome. I'm actually looking forward to this one most. Also on May 26th, we have Ultra Street Fighter 2, the Final Challengers. This game is coming out for the Nintendo Switch. It is an action fighter. In fact, it's the Street Fighter 2 remaster for the Switch, and you can play the game in high definition or back in the original graphics that it came out back in the day. It does support TV mode, tabletop mode, and handheld mode. This is another good game out for the Switch. How about that, guys? And the last one for this week, guys, also on May 26th, Rime. This is coming out for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. That's on the 26th. Eventually, it's coming out for the Switch. Had to stick that in there. It is a single-player puzzle adventure type game. It looks fantastic. The graphics are on par with Breath of the Wild, and there's puzzles in the game. I love puzzles, and I can't wait for this to come out. I'm getting it on the Switch. All right, guys, that brings us to the end of another week of game releases. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you next week.
All right, guys, we're going to get to the main topic tonight, which, again, is going to be about, I'll call it team tactics in games. I think it's been kind of a fun conversation because at least a few of us have played a lot of different type of team-oriented games, games that involve coordinating, working with other people, and multiplayer games have become very popular. Obviously, a primary example of that is all esports are, of course, human versus human. So they're very, very popular. First-person shooters and MOBAs and etc. So we'll kind of talk about that in a little more detail. So, to give you kind of an idea of when we talk about team tactic games, there's a broad array of games. We'll start with I'll talk about World of Warships and World of War Tanks because these are games that I obviously play avidly, as well as Cosmic here, and man, I can tell you right now, these are the kind of games that you learn very quickly that having communication and listening and working with people can make a huge, huge difference in how the game plays. And this is not going to be a preach fest about how you should shut up and listen and work together and like that. But it's interesting because these are fun games. And me and Cosmic have played. God, I'm kind of frightened to know how many collective hours we've played on World of Warships alone.
Quite a few.
Quite a few, to say the least.
And multiply that by 50 for Diablo 2.
Yeah, that was
wow.
definitely a cooperative game, even in that sense. That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, so we think about it. World Warships, I've had times where I played the game when I was new or when I was kind of in the early low levels. This is back in the beginnings of the game when there was no communication. You had text, you could type, but there was no audio communication within the game. So you really couldn't coordinate teams of people. You really, other than a quick shout of go right or head to point A or whatever,
right,
and hope that people might listen to you.
Yep.
It really doesn't do you a lot of good. Ships is a really good example too because in a first-person shooter in a sense. You have different classes of ships. And those classes of ships, battleships, destroyers, cruisers, are almost a Rochambeau of weaknesses. Battleships do great pounding at each other or pounding at cruisers, but destroyers run loops around them and can just demolish them. Cruisers are really good about killing destroyers, but they get their asses handed to them by battleships. Again, it's a circular thing. When you go out into a game like this, and like when me and Cosmic and Tweak get together, we'll oftentimes pick complementary ships to each other, so we can actually support each other. And it's really dramatic in how different the gameplay is when you've got not only us playing, but you've got other people on the team that understand their role, if you will, in these games. All of a sudden, it becomes a big deal because when you're out, as a couple of battleships, and all of a sudden a cruiser comes steaming up. You don't have a hyperventilating heart attack when you see a destroyer on the horizon, So it's a big deal, and more so over. Obviously, gameplay is different when you have that proper support and people playing the right way, but it definitely makes the game play differently. You can go lone wolf, but the gameplay style becomes very different, and in my opinion, the game becomes a lot more enjoyable. I'm trying to think some nifty examples, but the fundamentals are when you do that kind of team supportiveness, it really does help. And again, this also goes for World of Tanks. Similar concept. Yep. They have heavy tanks, they have light tanks, they have scouts. People who know how to play these tanks well and know how to use them, it makes a huge difference. Slower, heavier, beefier tanks with big guns are meant to stay back, meant to play that front line, but allow the scouts out in front to sight, to find, and then to team up. If you can get a couple of guys with heavy tanks, both aiming for the same target, it becomes a much easier thing to do. A thing that goes with ships. Ships, we play battleships together. If you get two battleships pounding on one ship out there, I guarantee you he's going to turn his ass around and run real quick. So again, it's definitely a different view on how those things play.
It's funny, you were mentioning about how before you couldn't really chat or talk and have that kind of... but games were starting... I don't know if you recall this, but games were starting to include commands in the game. So they knew you couldn't actually chat because there were no chat services around at the time, but you could reach over, press a button, and it would say, cover me, or I need to be healed, or something like that. Yeah. It would put a whole statement up for you, which is pretty cool.
You're absolutely right. That's the point. I mean, think about this. Games through history, we're talking about playing games back when all you had at best was in-game chat. And when you're playing things like an MMO, and you have time to actually type things out, that's one thing. But when you're playing a first-person shooter, when you're playing the old Tom Clancy Rainbow Six, having those type of cheats available to you, or having very short-form commands you type in quickly, was a huge thing because you didn't have time to sit there and have a wonderful conversation over tea and biscuits while you explain to people what they need to do. I say, El Chap, would you mind terribly covering me while I go up?
Oh, damn it, I need to reload.
Reload! No, but it's interesting because this style of game in where modern PvP games are now, they wouldn't be there without things like TeamSpeak or Skype or Discord.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be evolved as they are. In some cases, you have some games that actually have in-game comms. World of Warships, again, to go back to that one, has, if you're in a common division now, you have audio capacity. So you still can't communicate with the rest of the team through audio, but you can at least get the divisions together, which I think is fantastic. Cosmic, you just picked up Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah.
Like,
well, 2 years ago I played it and I just started again.
Oh, cool. That's good.
So I find this fascinating. I'm going to say up front, guys, we just started playing it. So getting the first-hand feel for it is a completely different game. And honestly, having Cosmic here in the house with me, I had Cosmic here the other night. My wife was playing next to me. Having us in the same room really helps with communication. It was a very different type of communication in that sense, but it was a teaching communication. It was literally, Jesus Christ, how do you do this, or what does this guy do, or how best do you take care of such and such, and it's us learning on the fly and then giving that feedback to each other, and that made a big difference.
Yeah, I played 2 years ago and don't remember shit, but I didn't play much.
Well, you spend any downtime from a game. Not mention that games evolve, of course, and update, but you forget everything. I mean, it's not like riding a bicycle.
No. Plus, they usually change the game. The game evolves over time. They'll go in and change certain tactics or certain. Well, in MMOs, they have cooldowns and so on and stuff like that. So that kind of stuff can change over time, which changes the whole multiplayer aspect, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So if you stop for a couple of years and come back, it's sometimes like playing a new game all over again, right?
Yep. No, it really can be. I mean, I spend any time away from games, I come back to it, it's like, crap, how did I do this? How did I do that?
Yeah, exactly.
See, I mean, communication is a huge thing. Obviously, it's its side effect is it's a social structure. You can actually talk and hang out with people. But again, it's not just about having voice connectivity. It's about working together. And that's one of the big things, too, with esports becoming so popular. You don't have an esports team that's going to come around because they happen to have a bunch of really skilled players that know how to play by themselves. You have to be supportive with each other.
Yeah.
So learning tactics, learning how to utilize your characters,
yes,
and how to work with others is a huge deal. And first-person shooters are, of course, a really good example of that. And I'm actually not talking about Call of Duty per se, but games like Overwatch, for example, and this style of play, these are huge because these are highly stacked characters that have very defined functions. I mean, you talk about the gorilla that's got a huge shield in front of him. That's all he's doing is shielding. Yeah. It's a whole lot of not terribly useful unless you've got a party of damage behind you.
Right.
So
they have healer, right? They have a healer or a healer class as well.
I believe so. I haven't played this particular game, but I've played...
Well, I haven't either, so that's... Yeah. But that's true, is exactly what you're saying. It's basically a role that if you choose that character, it's a role you have to fulfill, and you have to kind of learn that role and then play it out, be that role. So even myself, like World of Warcraft raids, we were talking about that can be one of those things in a raid, or even through, what's that other one? Not deathmatch, where you face off with people. I can't remember. It's okay. Well, essentially, like if you were to ask me to heal you, I've never played a healer in that game. So that role would be not my role. I'm usually a warrior, right? I like to go in and just go hard at it. But
well, so this is actually it's interesting. So again, games like Overwatch, or one of my favorites to play was Team Fortress 2.
Okay.
Again, very hard line character archetypes, and usually the most fundamental ones you have are the tanks, the heavy damage, heavy can take damage, the lighter high damage DPS characters, and then the healing characters. People tend to find their archetype that they feel most comfortable with, range versus melee, or beefy, slow versus agile and high damage, or playing a support character of some sort, whether it's an engineer setting up strong points, and setting up med kit areas and then reload points, etc., things like that, or playing a medic and supporting a heavy, things like that. People find their niche, which is great, and this is another reason to really, when you talk about having like team tactics, is finding the character that really works for your mentality.
Yeah.
When you're playing with people, you're actually getting communication going on between people. Obviously, you're going to get tips and feedback from them, but more so over, you're going to have good interaction, understand how things work. You can provide, hey, you know what? if you want help, I need you here. I can heal you over here because I can't get there, or things like that. But you really start to do a lot better for yourself and figure out what kind of works best for you by getting that feedback from other people. So having the tactic ability, having the ability to say, on the fly, communicate with people and listen is huge. And again, getting back to the whole tactics value, when you put a team together and you have people that are meant to work together, again, in case of Team Fortress, a heavy and a medic are a mean combo. And I've seen comics that have this, the heavy in front and everybody shooting at him, his mech standing behind him, and see, ignore this asshole, shoot him, and point to the medic. Because it's true. You have to take them out before anything else. And if that's done right, then you've got a good team composite going together. But this can backlash sometimes too, because I've seen people in Overwatch that there are select characters that if you pick them, people just hate you, because when they're building team matches, they don't want certain people.
Certain roles or
yeah, they just don't
classes.
want them. They don't want them as part of the match, because they don't think they're going to be a good match or a good fit.
Right.
It'd be
okay.
like you play a sniper. They hate you for it. And to be fair, again, if you're actually trying to work with people and work as a team, it can depend on a lot of factors. What is the other team build out? What other characters are those people playing? And that may help influence which one you want to pick and use for that particular match. Or even to the point of what map you're playing. There are some maps that are much more ideal for having a sniper on your side.
Right.
Versus just close quarter combat where snipers are almost useless. So those are the kind of things you have to think about. And again, working together and finding that mesh. Another great example was when I was watching Bunny play on this live stream. I forget again what game it was, but it was a tactical shooting game, and his team were on comms, and in game they have communication as well. So they could talk amongst themselves as a platoon, and then be able to hit the radio and communicate with the other teams at different points, and they could coordinate. And it was just, I was absolutely enthralled. I told my wife, I'm coming up to watch a show.
When you see it done, it's amazing. When you see it done right.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
Which makes me understand why things like esports and people just watching, not even participating, is a thing. Do you know what I'm saying?
It could be. I mean, it's fun as hell to watch. It really is. And to be clear, guys, to be fair, this is not limited to first-person shooters or MOBAs. Even things like World of Warcraft. When you go and do dungeon runs for small groups, or even do raids on large bosses, it takes immense coordination. You have to pay attention to what you're doing. You have to listen for your cues. You have to be part of that. I mean, I can... Cosmic here, you've played a lot more of the raids in the original EverQuest than I have. Mm-hmm. But I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but EverQuest was known for having like big raids. I would not be so hard to play to say that if you saw 100 people in a single raid, it wasn't unusual.
Back in the original expansion, the later ones went down to a lot less.
But
okay.
But even for having that many people, one person can completely fuck things up.
Oh, yes.
I mean, seriously, there are times where it's like even something as simple as you have a tank. He's designed to take a lot of damage. You can beat on him all day long, and he's fine with it. But his output isn't all that grand. And you have one nutter that decides to backstab one too many times and turns the mob around. Yeah. And it's just like...
It's funny you mentioned that. What comes to mind is Rainbow Six Siege. I was on with four guys, and we were like taking each room, moving through the chalet or house or whatever it was, covering corners, going in and doing everything. One guy decides to run all the way upstairs into the bedroom while we're down here, and we're like, hey, you should stick with the group. And he's like, yeah, I'm okay. Then 2 seconds later, he goes down. And then the whole team gets wiped out as we all try to go up there and save his butt.
Yep.
Yeah. So
it's amazing.
I know exactly. Yeah.
So and this is just it. It's not just a matter of, oh, you screw up, you're going to die. You can take out your entire team, your entire raid.
One of the hardest things about raiding in EverQuest, we didn't have voice chat.
Yeah.
It was all typing. Yeah.
It's all text, and
that's crazy.
God help you if you were part of the original EverQuest, because you had one chat window that had everything going on. We're talking like every hit that went off, not just text chat, but mobs hit for X, mob hits for X. But things are streaming by, and you're like watching
basically a combat log.
Okay, now. oh crap! I made my cue. You have mobs. You have chain healing, where somebody hits a macro, it sets off their heal, has a certain time step, and it says, "Okay, number 2, go." And that's when you hit your heal and start the next one. One person out of that chain fucks up, the main goes down, and that's it. If you're really lucky, you'll have a secondary that might hold the mob. But most of those guilds were at a point where it's like if you had one good one that was, you basically gave him all the best drops from these smaller raids to get at least one person up there so you could start farming for the rest. But if you didn't have that, you'd see it's like, oh crap, the main's down, and you just see this mob just going around systematically picking off every asshole in order of damage. You hurt me the most. Now you're next. Stay right there. I'll be with you in 1 second, asshole. I see you running. I will track your ass's entire fucking zone, and I will trail every other motherfucking mob along with me.
Just describe my worst nightmare in World of Warcraft.
That's the other thing about EverQuest too. And again, this is what I say. It's not just tactical games like first-person shooters. With EverQuest, you go the wrong way. Hell, what was it, Fear? Fear. One of the ones where it was a multi-deck.
Fear sucked.
If you went too far up the wall, just because of bad game mechanics, you'd aggro a mob upstairs.
Yeah.
And he'll get to you.
Through the floor.
Yes. No. He'll run across the entire thing, grab everybody else.
No, but you're aggroing him through the floor.
Yeah, through the floor. And he'll run through the entire zone, grabbing every other mob with him. It's like, hey guys, there's somebody here we can fuck. Like, yeah! So you're like sitting there, wait, all of a sudden there's this huge wave.
EverQuest didn't have tethering.
No,
most games have.
Yeah, for all you youngins out there that play WoW, that whole just run away far enough, they'll stop bothering you.
Nah, didn't exist.
You ran to the zone wall and zoned out.
Damn it! I used that tactic.
If you were in a zone, an entire area. This is why you had a macro that you'd hit a button. It would say "Train to zone, look the fuck out," because. If you went running to zone with a trail of mobs on you, anybody in your way need to get out of your way quickly because you'd get run over literally. But again, this is one of those things of when you talk about team tactics and learning how to play these characters across the board, it is a huge difference. And where some games like World of Warships is all about using and utilizing and pairing up and teaming up and so on. Games like EverQuest, it's just not even possible to do some of this stuff. It is impossible to do these boss battles, these raids, without not just having a massive number of people. You're not just going to overwhelm them with numbers, but to coordinate, listen, learn, and know how to play those characters. So
it's pretty awesome.
It's an amazing thing. So I always encourage people, if you're going to play these games, I encourage them. They're fun games. They're great to have. Just bear in mind, if you're going to play a game that's a team-oriented game, or it's a versus game where you have other people with you, having a headset, having a mic if you can, and learning how to work with people, whether it's through text command or audio, it's a huge thing. And it will change dramatically games you may have been playing and never really tried to work together with people on. So, anyways, I certainly do encourage you guys' feedback on this. I'd love to hear some of your guys' stories about some of the events you've had where you've got an awesome raid group that just knocked down a colossal mob, or a fuckwit that ended up getting your entire team killed in a chalet. Leroy Jenkins. Definitely let us know. I'd love to hear your stories. Give us a little feedback. If you have any extra thoughts or anything we've missed on these topics, definitely do let us know. You can get comments down below, of course, or come by the Bar Rocket Gaming website and give us some feedback.
Hello everyone, I'm Ziploc Bob, and welcome to another episode of Bottle Rocket Rants. Today we're talking about overhyping a game. So, fair warning, if you work for marketing, first, jump off a bridge, you soulless little workers for Satan. Second, take everything I say with a grain of salt, because otherwise you'll be insulted. And lastly, if you don't work for marketing and you're guilty of this, please stop it. So first things first, let's define the line between general marketing, hyping up a game, and full-blown overhyping it, because these are separate things and each one of them could have their own problems. General marketing is easy to see. Web ads, advertisements, and magazines, and on YouTube videos, much like this one. Actually, does anybody actually read magazines anymore? These are fine, as long as they're not native advertisements, which is a completely different problem that I will have a rant about, but it doesn't really hit our gaming sphere. I see nothing wrong with these. They're basically saying, hey, we're selling this shit, come and buy our shit, we paid money so you could see that we're selling the shit. Hyping up a game is acceptable because it's more along the lines of after the video game or any product has been released and it has received critical praise, they put that in the general marketing as far as a post-launch technique. Kind of like saying, hey, we made something, a lot of people like it, you might like it too. It's a little borderline, but, when people get praise about something they do, of course they're going to brag about it. It's only human nature. Now that I defined the two things that I'm not bitching about, here's what I am bitching about. Whenever a big conference is about to happen, E3, any Sony press conference, any Microsoft press conference, certain Nintendo Directs, or, anything like that where the eyes of the entire industry are focused right there for that weekend, or that week in some cases. Companies start marketing games that are not coming out for 2 years. Hey, assholes, you haven't stopped telling me about this game that's not even released yet and is due out later this year, and now you're here telling me about a game that you haven't even got off the ground as far as a prototyping phase? This is like if I go and order a cup of coffee. Where I order this coffee doesn't matter. Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, hell, even a Waffle House. Take your fucking pick. I'm waiting for the coffee to be served for me. I paid for this coffee. It's coming to me. And before they finish making that cup, they go ahead and try to see if they get me hyped up about the next cup of coffee that they're going to sell me 2 fucking months from now. What the fuck? How do you people have the balls to try to sell me something that's not going to be available for 2 years, and yet you cannot sell me what I want without canceling it? And do not think for a second I'm going to pin all the blame on the people who make the games or their marketing departments. No. I just wanted to get their little fuck you out of the way first. Now, it's on to gaming publications and gaming fanboys as a whole, because these are two halves of the overhyping problem, at least how I see it. Listen, fucksticks, just because you love games And you might even love a certain company, whether it's Digital Homicide. Wait, nobody loves them. Let's go with, I don't know, Square Enix. Yes, Square Enix. Let's go with Square Enix. Let's say Square Enix decides to release a game and about 3 years from now, and it's the next installment of Forgetful Fantasy. Let's say it's Forgetful Fantasy 27. If you haven't played the game, quit being a fucking shill and selling the game for them when you're not making money off of it. If you were making money off of it, I could at least fucking understand, but you're not. Wait for it to come out and see if it's actually any good, and quit blaming the developers and their marketing departments for your high expectations. Act like you have a fucking brain. You do not own Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, EA, Square Enix, hell, even Devolver Studios. Someone I'm a fan of, I still don't owe them anything. And guess what? We never did. So, with E3 coming up this coming month, just remember, they're trying to impress you. It's kind of like a first date. Feel free to enjoy yourself. Hold on to hope that they do deliver on their products and their promises, but ultimately, they're just trying to get in your pants.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this podcast for this fine evening. And I want to thank you for, of course, joining us and slinking through the whole thing. And thank you to Cosmic here, who decided to join us this evening. It's this long trek from his home far away.
5 feet away.
5 feet away. But I have denied you the privilege of playing your video game while you're talking to us. So I appreciate the sacrifice. You're a big proponent of Diablo 3, which I still have not gotten into. I like Diablo 2.
I love part 3.
I did the demo of it. I just couldn't get into it. I just didn't catch it at the time. Maybe it'd be different now, but I've kind of wrapped up in playing free to play games. So, but nevertheless, I do appreciate it. And again, Cosmic doesn't really have a YouTube channel or anything like that, but you will see him on my channels when I do recordings with him, and you might see him poking back and forth or sitting in with us on the podcast now and then. So I do really appreciate you hanging out with us this evening. It's really nice of you.
No problem.
Kirak, my friend.
Yeah.
Anything new?
Some stuff, yeah.
Not on the YouTube channel, apparently, but...
No, not on the YouTube channel. So, okay, talking about games and stuff like that. By the time this episode airs, if everything goes well, because I'm pretty close to having everything set up the way I want, I may be streaming that same night, late that night.
That's right.
And when I stream, it will be on Beam, not Twitch.
Very important. The other white meat.
Yeah. So hopefully I'll be able to stream something. If anything, I think I'm going to continue with the game I left off back in. I hate to say this. Back in October. But it's a good game. It's a good game. Yeah. The Last of Us.
But during that time, you're helping with the podcast.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all good. That and what else? Weather's been getting nice here. So we had like 2 or 3 days in a row that were at 29, 30 degrees Celsius.
So you're going to go out and ski dip?
No. It's almost time to pull out the smoker.
The Polar Bear
The
Club?
meat smoker. What's that?
The Polar Bear Club.
The Polar Bear Club. Yeah. But
do you
yeah.
just have to be cold doing that, or do you have to be free to do it too?
I don't know.
Never done it. I've seen many people do it.
You guys have something in common, by the way. You're both Italian.
Okay. So there you go.
You love of pasta, right?
Yes, the love of pasta.
Yeah. Pasta's good.
And apparently plungers. I don't get that, but
What?
to each his own.
Plungers?
Mario. Come on. I'm not Mario.
So you're Luigi.
Neither.
Come
If
on.
only we had Mario
Plunger
Luigi
where the
cap,
sun
it'd be
don't
great.
shine.
Come on, it's a me, Kira.
It's me, Kirak.
It's me.
Yeah, and the other thing that I'm going to mention is I have plans coming down the line of working on a podcast with a couple of other people that I know locally in Toronto. Yeah, you may recall on the show I've mentioned that I was doing that with a couple of other people, and we did begin a podcast, but it didn't quite work out. We tried to get it working a couple times, just didn't happen. So right now, this is going to be a different set of people, myself included, and we're going to do something casual where we just sit down on a couch and talk about games.
Casual couch.
Casual couch, yeah.
Right,
but it's what we're working on. There's no set time, but probably in about a month or so, we'll probably sit down and actually do a real recording.
Awesome. And that going to be gaming focused, or is that going to be?
Yeah, it's going to be gaming focused. So we're gonna talk about topics, and it's going to be something like where we pull up a topic, or maybe even community provide a topic or something, and we talk about that one maybe for the whole episode or something like
that. Gotcha.
So,
that sounds fantastic. And it goes good old Project Singularity,
yeah.
where you can come play with a bunch of people in Project Singularity, or come play with Kirk.
Yes. So tonight, Project Singularity had a game night, but I couldn't make it because I was at work late, had dinner, and then we're doing this. But I think maybe Walden and Hamnisu hopped on. I could be mistaken because I saw some emails go through, and a couple of the other guys were busy doing other things.
Cute. You guys still use email.
Oh yeah, it's weird. We have Discord. We actually recently started a Discord.
I was going to say, we have Discord.
We have TeamSpeak, and we use email above all. I don't know why. It's the easiest. It's worked, and we just keep replying. We have a thread of emails. It's like 72 emails, and it's called V2 because we had to kill off the other thread and start a second one.
It took me a while to get pulled out of that thread when I got pulled into it. Anyways, and of course, you're going to keep people up to date with your Twitter account, right?
Yeah, or yeah. So I'll post on Twitter when I go live, and I'll even put up a little video that announces that I'm going live. So yeah, on my channel.
So as long as you guys are subbed to Kirok on YouTube, or if you have him followed on Twitter, you should be able to get the heads up on it when he starts doing the streaming. And I look forward to it because I love to see you doing stuff again. And when you do streaming, you also do streaming on VR.
I do. I have, yes.
So that's going to be fun.
Yeah, so that's my second phase. Right now, I want to get back into streaming on and be able to switch between two computers. Once that setup's all done, then I'll get the VR part working again.
Cool beans.
Did something just fly right by you?
No, not at all. This is a professional studio around here. I myself, guys, I do have new content on my gaming channel. Of course, got some more World of Warships up, but I also do have some other non-ships content. I've got a new, call it a series, for lack of a better word, of content that will be coming out, which is BRG Group Play. This is content that I've recorded from doing BRG events. We've always talked about BRG doing events. I had some recorded from like a while back that I just never got around to editing. So I've got the first of a couple episodes of Cards Against Humanity. BRG is not the most PC of people, and then you add Cards Against Humanity into it, and it just kind of goes, I want to say a little off the rails. We're talking like Left Turn at Albuquerque kind of off the rails. So yeah, it's pretty bad. So
yeah, I want to do that again.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And then for my moto vlog, I actually have lots of new content coming out from moto vlog. I've gotten around to spend some time actually doing some editing. So I've got my shitty moto vlog Mondays, just like as always. But I'm also going to have clip videos coming out. So on Wednesdays, when I have clips of basically people being retards, I'm going to start putting those out every Wednesday. I've got a couple of them out already. One person with their stinking lights off, tailgating on the cell phone at night. And then the new one
that was you with the camera.
Yeah.
Sorry, just kidding.
Yeah, that was me actually. And then the news one that got out is people turning on a red light right in front of me. It was just. Anyways, man. Yeah. So I'll have those out, and then on Fridays I'll have my ride video Fridays, which are going to be just no talking, just me showing you some of the rides I've taken, whether it's interesting rides like Highway 17 in the rain, or ice cream grade after the rains with a lot of washouts. Really nice windy road. Just some fun roads. My recommendation on those is just mute the video, put on some nice music, sit back and relax and enjoy them. They're fun rides. I wanted to share them. So look forward to more content like that. But I got a good bit of it lined up, so we'll have a good month worth of content of the different categories coming out for at least a little while there. and hopefully we'll have some fun with that. Always, guys, if you have any questions, curiosities, you can leave them in comments down below. However, I do encourage you to head over to BottleRocketGaming.com and check out the community. We're not just a podcast. We're not just a pair of pretty faces. Believe it or not, there's actually more to us than just us. We've got a bunch of wonderful people behind us that support us, the podcast, as well as support the entire group of Bottle Rocket Gaming with our channel, with the website, with our Discord. And those people are definitely worth saying hi to and getting to know. So you can head over to BallRocketGaming.com and check out that. And of course, we certainly do appreciate you guys sticking with us through thick and thin. If you want to see more content like this, always I recommend subscribing to the podcast or subscribing to the YouTube channel to keep in touch with the podcast as well as the other content that we have going up. And we'll have more new stuff coming up hopefully soon. So you can definitely keep in touch with what's going on, what's happening. And if you'd like to support us, a couple of ways you can do that. First of all, besides, of course, subbing, liking, subscribing, commenting, all that, you can certainly give us a shout-out. Wherever media source that you happen to be fond of, be it Facebook, be it the Twitters, or whatever, give us a shout-out once in a while. We do appreciate that. And if we happen to see it, we will yell back at you and say, hi, howdy, hody. If you want to take the armchair approach, you're certainly welcome to just throw some money out of the way. We have no problem dancing for our dollars. Kirak, do you have a pole by chance?
What?
A pole?
No.
7.5, 8 foot pole?
No. What
I'm
makes
thinking
you think
new
I
ways
do?
to get some revenue around here. We can add a new tier to...
Patreon?
Yeah, we'll have the $1,000 tier, guys, for Patreon. That'll buy us a pole.
I'll do a live stream of pole dancing.
A pole and a G-string. It's incentive. They'll see that, then we'll pay for an extra tier for that date we talked about.
Anything for the team. Come on.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's my boy. That's my boy right there. Anyways, guys, we do have a Patreon account. Please feel free to pitch in a few dollars here and there. We do have multiple tiers from $1 and a big hearty thank you, all the way up to $50 for a T-shirt. If you really want to pay $1,000, let me know. We'll see what we can do for you. I won't make any promises. Anyways, guys, I'm Warped. He's Girak.
I'm Cosmic.
He's Cosmic, and we are the fuck out of here.
Good night.
It is recording this time. Yeah!
Oh, it's all good.
I did a good job.
You know, the funny thing is, right in front of his face, it says start or stop.
It's a small button.
Yeah.
I saw it from here.
What is that fucking beeping?
I don't know, but it's like I'm like it's a truck backing up.
It's your guys' old age, because I don't hear it.
Well, we both hear it.
Well, it must be
on
your
the
old
back, yeah.
age because we hear it and you don't. Obviously, you're the one going deef. And for some reason, the video is not, once again, not in recording for your face. Gotta hope the hell it was when we did the opening.
No, it wasn't. I thought you just moved it
Oh,
up.
no. Oh, shit. Our welcome got screwed up. Your picture wasn't moving.
My picture wasn't moving?
Yeah. Fuck beans.
Yeah, the bottom.
Oh shit! You know what? Pause. I'm sorry. The size of your window's off too. What the shit is going on?
Man. Okay.
Okay,
That looks
whatever.
awfully funky.
That's what she said. See, what you don't see is the frustration in our eyes as we go through the wrap up or any segment of this podcast because we've done it like 3 times prior to you actually seeing the recorded value.
Hello and welcome to AOL Movie Phone. The wheels on the bus go round and round.
And I'm pretty sure that beeping's not coming from my end.
It is coming from your end. Puff, puff, pass.
You're
This comes from the guy who's never done drugs in his life. All right. Ready? Give me the other one this time. In 3, 2,